This is a really big deal tonight for me. Some of you have known me for kind of a while. Actually, I think there are some people here who were there at the beginning of this idea. But for those of you who don't know me, I'm going to tell you a little bit about how it came to be that we're here, that all of us are here together. So the story actually begins about 10 years ago. So about a decade ago, I was managing a pizza shop in Seattle. Had my own little store of a local Seattle chain, and I was in charge of hiring. So I'm excited. I'm, 25, I guess, at the time, and I have all this responsibility. And so I start interviewing and all these wonderful things, and I send my applications of candidates that I want up to the owners. And it comes down that several of my ideal candidates have been rejected. Turns out there was an unwritten policy that we didn't hire people with criminal records. It's not something we really talked about. They just said, oh, these people with this thing in common, we're not going to hire them. It was incredibly frustrating to me. I'd never known anybody with a criminal record or anything like that, but as a really strong businesswoman wanting to do well, having set this vision for my pizza shop, I wanted the best people on board that I could find. And these were them. And it bothered me beyond words, though I'm finding them now. It bothered me to no end that they were being excluded from my team for some blanket policy that had nothing at all to do with my experience of them. Fast forward about 7 years. I'm no longer in pizza. Graduated, in fact. At that time I was in graduate school. And I met Dave Dahl, actually, and through him I met dozens of other people with criminal records. And I started to learn through their stories about the barriers that they face coming out of incarceration. Now already, men and women have lots of barriers coming out, lots of struggle. Not only have they been isolated from society completely, and now they're re-entering that space. That's just a natural thing that has to happen, and it's hard. And then on top of that, we put policies on them, written and otherwise. We create stigmas around them. We create laws that essentially come up to legal discrimination. So that's all the stuff that we put on them, let alone the trauma experienced by the system that now they have to recover on. Not only that, but there's the shame. With the stigma comes shame that we put on them. We sort of slather it all over them and tell them about all the bad things that they did, and then we make them tell us about all the bad things that they've done. When we never actually ask each other about any of those things, but now we're asking it of them, and they marinate in that. And left to their own devices, that shame, left to its own device, can be crushing. And this touched me, to say the least. So I set out on a search with my little systems brain to figure out how to stop or reverse the effects that we've created in this system that's completely flawed. It's set up to do no good whatsoever. So I took my business acumen and whatnot, and I looked into the system. I consulted with organizations in the reentry space, figuring out what worked, what didn't, where the cracks were, what's missing. And I came up with a social ignition. So let me tell you what a social ignition does. Okay, that's how we got here. But now we are here. And a social ignition does 3 things. First, the basics. We teach entrepreneurship as a means for problem solving to people currently and previously incarcerated, and anyone else who is excited by the way that we do it. I designed a program based on action and personal growth, and anybody who's into that can come and take our classes. That's what we do. That's the doing part, that's the entrepreneurship part. But the second thing that we do is we actually are building a network. We take we are folding business professionals in with people with criminal records and creating this sort of melting pot of people and allowing that connection to reduce that stigma, to bring that down, to break down the unknowns around the people around us, so that out of that can come this beautiful, beautiful feeling, genuine feeling, this genuine feeling that life is cumulative. That none of us would be here if it weren't for all the little things that happened before. Big things, small things, whatever. Life is cumulative. So that's the second thing we do. The third is that a social ignition is an intentional part of our community. As a nonprofit, working in the nonprofit social work space, we're actively trying to change that space from a let us help you, come, let us help you, to a let's just do this together. This all needs work, so let's just, not swearing, let's just do this. Sorry. So that's the third thing that we do. And I have to say that this is such an exciting time to have all of you in the room. Absolutely exciting. We are actually just started on Monday with our second cycle of the Ignition Option, which is the 12-session series inside. So the gentlemen that you see around you were cycle 1, and about 80% of them are in our long haul program, which is individual and small group coaching, that bridges release. Excuse me. Also, we've signed up with, so that's at Columbia River Correctional Institution on Columbia River. It's a state prison. Now we're in their cycle. We'll do this every 4 months, forever. Second, we just signed up with Multnomah County Jail, and we're starting programming there in January. So we'll just keep on rolling. And we're also working with, we're on the brink of some really exciting partnerships with organizations on the outside of the criminal justice system who are working to keep their clients as far away from the criminal justice system as possible. So before they get in contact with that, we want to work with them to keep that out of the picture to begin with. Yeah, so kind of cool stuff, right? Yeah. Super cool. I get excited about this, so glad you guys are into it. So I use the word we a lot, and in the last 7 months, this one-man show that was around for a couple of years has now turned into an ensemble cast. And I'm so proud to introduce to you sort of the early adopters of a social ignition. You met Meg Warden. Wait, there she is. You met her. She's a board member. Natalia Templeton. Wait. Another board member. Awesome. Andrew Rodriguez. Where are you? Another board member. Paul Tice. And there he is. So that is our fantastic board of 4. Right now, we're growing to 9. So get your applications in early. All right. But beyond that, I have 2 amazing staff members. Bryant Lehman. He comes into prison with me once a week to coach with our long haul program. And Ian Sluss, there we go. That's my admin partner, and he is heavily responsible for your good time tonight. Somebody's got to create a party, we also miss you. Awesome. So there's actually one more one more super integral person that I want to introduce you to that's a part of a Social Ignition's crew. It's you. It's each and every single one of you who are here. You showed up being curious about what is the Social Ignition thing. It's doing some good work. I've heard, my friend told me. I want to go see what it's all about. Well, you're here. Well done. And now you have an opportunity to take that even further. You've heard what's happening, you've heard what's going on. Now you can participate. You can get involved, you can do stuff. Because this is all about doing. Talking only lasts for like a minute or 10. But then we have to do something. So all of you came in tonight, you signed in, and you all got an envelope. Can you show me your envelope? If you didn't get an envelope, Ian will come find you. He will hand you an envelope. And in the envelope, in the first section, if you open it up at the top, behind the Social Ignition logo, that's not an accident, there is a space that talks where you can give your financial support, an investment in the capacity of this organization that is on its way to really affecting a system, like big time. So that's where you make your financial contribution. That's not the only thing you can do on that form. On the second half of that, there are check boxes. And you can check all the boxes for, I want to be a mentor. I want to come into prison or jail, or not. We have other ways that you can do that.
They let you
And I want,
out.
what's that?
So they let you out.
Yeah, they do that. Brian knows, for sure. They let you out.
Some of us.
So you can come and be a mentor. You can explore board membership. We can talk about that. You want to hire a graduate because you have a company that's doing cool stuff and you want smart, intelligent people to come work for your company. Amazing. We have those people. So you can check all those boxes and we'll get back to you and we'll let you know all of those things. We'll get you involved for sure. So last piece here is that a lot of people ask me why I do this work. Pretty much every time I meet somebody new and we talk about it, they have some version of, what's this little white girl from the suburbs doing in prison? And the thing is, I want to give you a little taste of why I do it. I want you to look into these faces. They're all around you. Take a look. Go ahead, turn around. You don't have to look at me. You can look where they are. And really look at those faces. Look beyond the inmate uniform. Look into their eyes. And see the person there. You do that, and then I ask you, how the fuck did you not do this work? And then, I want you to look around at each other. Look in each other's eyes, look at each other's faces. Because we're all the same. These guys, you guys, we're all here. We're all the same. We're all doing this. That's why I do the work. Because all of that should be the same. So if I had a drink in my hand, I want to actually raise a toast.
I have it right here.
See? The yin to my yang.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I want to propose a toast. Lift them. I'm bossy, guys. Look at each other. Rest your glass. 2 out of 3. This is actually to each and every one of you. For coming here, for participating, to being interested in the intention, the integrity, the integration of all people into this work. So lift your glass, enjoy the celebration, and in your envelopes. This one's for you.